Welcome, everyone, to Buffalo Live, your one-stop shop for live professional play-by-play reaction to every Bills game, plus matchup preview shows like the one you're watching right now. I'm your host, Kyle. Today's show is called, Gabe doesn't know this, Behind Enemy Lines. So we're going to be looking at what the other team is saying about the Buffalo Bills, saying what they're saying about their own team, and how they're feeling about the game. I'm joined today by my special guest. I've already mentioned his name. He's a great friend of mine. He's a loyal fan of Chiefs Kingdom. He's an excellent man. He's an excellent runner. Please welcome Gabe. Gabe, how are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you today?
I am doing excellent. I think we are both super pumped to break down this game together. It was very hard for me to concentrate on other things today because I was very much looking forward to this preview show. So, before we get into the keys to the game and our confidence levels, I wanted to, kind of tell the story of this game we have before us, Sunday, 6:30 in Orchard Park. This game will be the seventh meeting between these two teams within the past 4 years. Bills have won 3, Chiefs have won 3. The Chiefs have won the only 2 playoff matchups. All but one have been in front of Chiefs fans, and that one wasn't in front of anyone because of COVID. Now we're here today. We've got 2 great teams. We've got 2 elite quarterbacks coming off 2 somewhat rocky seasons and coming off 2 great playoff wins. This is Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game. That's unbelievable to me. And it's his first time playing in front of Bills fans in Orchard Park. So, Gabe, I need a heat check on this game, man. How pumped are you for this game, and what are your initial thoughts?
I think you don't even have to be a Chiefs or Bills fan to be pumped up for this game. Everyone's already calling it the next great quarterback rivalry between Brady and Peyton, which they had some classics. Which my takeaway, just viewing from that point of view, is this could even be better because if you ask a lot of Peyton fans, they would tell you if he just had a good defense, he could have probably beaten Brady a couple more times. But Brady had a top 5 defense with that top 5 offense, and so. It's crazy. If you look at it, the rivalry sake, Bills have typically had the better defense. So this seems like it's the first year where the Chiefs actually have a pretty good defense to go along with their, really good offense, which this year's not as great as it has been. But I'm as pumped as you're going to get when it comes to this game. I'm certain some Chiefs fans are hoping they could have taken a loss and could have stayed at home and played the Texans, but it doesn't get better than playing Allen in the home plate. That's it. The quarterback level is always the best. They don't seem to disappoint. It's just a great show, and it's just awesome for football. So I'm as stoked as you're going to be. So super excited.
It's funny you brought up Manning and Brady because that's where I was going to go next. I was going to ask you, do we hold this Allen Mahomes matchup to the level like we did Manning and Brady back in the day? I think you've answered my question there. If I were to take, every starting quarterback and I get my choice between 2 guys, you know who I'm picking first. It's Mahomes and Allen. Those are my first 2 picks. Someone watching, maybe yourself, you might have a different pick as far as Allen goes, but that's where I'm at with these 2 guys. I think they're at the top of their class. So without further ado, let's go. Before we, again, jump into these keys to the game I want to take a look at the injury report because this is key. We're recording this as of 2:39 p.m. on Friday, and Coach Sean McDermott and Coach Andy Reid just kind of released some recent news about their players. Let's start with the Bills. Gabe, feel free to stop me here if you have a thought on any of these guys, but I'm just going to kind of read through. So we have 4 men for the Buffalo Bills that were just declared out. 1, cornerback Christian Benford with a knee. Wide receiver Gabe Davis, he's out, and that is an interesting player to be out because Chiefs know him all too well from last year's playoffs. We have safety Taylor Rapp out with a calf injury and backup linebacker Balin Spector out. So those are the 4 players out for the Bills couple guys questionable: Tyrell Dotson, Rasul Douglas, Sam Martin. I think is going to play, maybe not. Then for the Chiefs side, Andy Reid just announced 3 players out: defensive tackle Derek Nottie. Then we have tackle Wanya Morris, rookie from Oklahoma, 3rd round pick. And then we have Sky Moore, wide receiver, is also out. Gabe, any thoughts on the injuries there?
Really, the one that sticks out the most is Noddy. He's been a really good front guy for us in that D line for the past 3-4 seasons. So the other two really not going to miss as much. I mean, Morris can get a pass. He's a rookie, but he's struggled throughout the season. Which, granted, all our tackles haven't looked the best at all this year. So he's just one of many who struggled. But he, not in particular, I don't think he. I mean, if we get hurt, we'll miss him. But Sky Moore, he's another guy who kind of had a pretty rough second year. You know, we were kind of hoping he could have stepped up a little bit more, but he kind of like a lot of our other receivers haven't been too good this year. And so, but he in particular, he's kind of had a pretty tough drop off. So really, Noddy's the only one I'd say that I agree with. I'm kind of like, we may miss him on Sunday, but the other two.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, I also want to mention the Bills they don't only have those 4 guys out. They've got a lot of other guys that are questionable. I don't know if you saw this, Gabe, but recently Stephon Diggs had a foot flare up this week in practice. He's probably going to play, but something to monitor. Sam Martin, during the Steelers game, he pulled his hamstring on a blocked kick, and that is the Bills punter there. So that's something to look out for. The Bills signed Matt Hawk back, punter previously in the a couple of seasons ago. He punted for us, so we'll see who's good to go if they're going to throw in Sam Martin or if Matt Hawk's going to play. Starting linebacker Terrell Bernard's questionable, and backup linebacker Tyrell Dotson. And then Taron Johnson's in the concussion protocol. This is a second-team All-Pro nickelback for the Bills. Definitely concerned there, but I think he is going to play as well. So I say all that to say the Bills are very banged up. That is a huge story in this game. Something that is very concerning as a Bills fan. You have to keep in mind, this is not going to be a Bills team that is at the capacity that these Chiefs are. Chiefs are looking pretty healthy, all things considered.
Like how you felt about having so many. I mean, you've been struggling with injuries since week 1, right? I mean, you had a lot of good guys get out early in the year, and you seem to just take the punch and keep rolling. You know, you seem to just probably figure out how to just replace it with a player. So, I mean, do you think there's anyone out of those a lot of names you said who are really going to hurt you guys tonight?
I think in terms of the questionable players, Rasul Douglas needs to play. He was good. He was good to go back in the game against Miami. Dane Jackson, the backup corner, says, no, I got this man. The Bills secure the victory. And then Douglas is ruled out of that Steelers wild card matchup. And the Bills were able to mitigate that fine. So if Rasul is not good to go, I mean, we're talking about is it the 4th string and 5th string cornerbacks starting? Yikes. So that's one that I'm very interested in. And then the linebacker core is heavily bruised up. So yeah, that's what I'd say about that. Let's shift our focus to the weather real quick. Just a quick comment here. I checked the forecast in Orchard Park earlier this morning. It looks like it's going to be cold. It's going to be in the 20s. So decently cold. That doesn't factor in wind chill, so we don't know what the wind's going to look like, but there's no precipitation currently forecasted. I expect this is going to be a lot like the conditions the Chiefs and the Bills played last weekend in their wild card matchups. Just cold, painful hits, no precipitation though. Just going to be a cold game. Gabe, I want to start with you. Your keys to the game. You choose. Do you want to start with the Buffalo Bills keys to the game or Kansas City?
I mean, I can start with my Chiefs real quick.
Okay.
I'll start offense. I mean, offensively, Mahomes is going to have to once again be Mahomes and just play lights out. I mean, you're I feel fairly confident in him. He, for the most part, has played decently well. I know he's had a lot more interceptions. He hasn't looked kind of as good as he has in the past, but we don't really need to talk about the receiving core. They haven't been the greatest this year, but I think that's going to be the key takeaway, especially if Tony plays. Tony's been out the last couple of games, which, in my opinion, that's really opened up for Rasheed Rice. He was already looking really good. He just stepped up and has just really led the way. I mean, he's been unbelievable. But I think this is going to be a takeaway for both teams, man. Like, if you go back and watch some of our previous games, like, none of the top receivers, like, especially like this, the Chiefs, you know, I mean, I know on the platform 2 years ago, Kelsey and Hill played really good. But people forget Byron Pringle, who's the one with it. He had a great game too. And, you know, Diggs didn't really do a whole lot in that game. I mean, he, for the most part, was non existent, but Gabe Davis had the game of his life with 4 touchdowns. And
Yep.
if you look at our games from this past season in November, once again, I don't think Diggs had an unbelievable game either, but Coach went off, and it
Yep.
seems to be when these teams match up together, it's always who's the third, fourth string receiver who's going to step up and make the big impact. And I think, you know, in a world where our receivers live up to the potential, I would say we would have that advantage. You know, you got Hardman, you got Noah Gray, you got Justin Watson, Valdez Gambling, even Richard James. We got a lot of different options and a lot of guys who can go out and make plays. But whether or not they, you know, can just do the fundamentals well, catch the ball, don't fumble. I mean, that's just been, and I mean, that's just been with the Chiefs all year. And so I think that's going to have to be another takeaway. You know, you look back at our game again, 2 costly fumbles that helped the Bills out big time. We all know about Tony lining up off the line and the critical play. So it's just limiting the amount of turnovers and, you know, the amount of just stupid penalties as well, and especially from that receiving core. And so, you know, I think for both teams wise, who's going to step up, who's going to be the one. You know, you hope Diggs, you hope Kelsey, kind of your go-to guys are going to have good games, but you know, the defenses are going to really focus on them. And so, you know, sticking with the Chiefs, the tackles they have to play better. And they played really good. I'll give them credit. They played really good against the Dolphins. You know, I mean, Juwan Taylor still had a few penalties, but outside of that, I mean, the Dolphins brought blitz after blitz, and they picked it up and gave Mahomes time in the pocket, and he was delivering perfect passes. So, I mean, Donovan Smith and Juwan Taylor just going to have to play as clean as they can get. And, you know, Taylor, I'm good with 1 or 2 false starts. He just can't keep tossing these big plays with stupid, you know, holding penalties and whatnot. But defensively, just looking at it, the linebackers, they're gonna have to have a way better game than they did in November. If you look if you go back and watch a lot of it, the run game really changed. They could not stop Cook that well. And he just kind of shoots through gaps. And, you know, Bolton and Gay, really good. I mean, 2 of the best linebackers, I think, in the league. You know, they're really good. But that game, they really struggled. And they're going to have to play a lot better. They're going to have to do a better job in coverage and whatnot. But I think besides that, the quarterbacks, the secondary has been really good. And they look really good against the Dolphins. So they're going to have to once again step up. I'm certain Snead's happy that Gabe Davis is out because, man, did he get obliterated 2 years ago. I mean, Davis is smoking him. Steve locked down Diggs really well in the regular season. And, you know, we're going to need him and Southie to step up. Justin Reed's going to have to do a good job of making sure nothing gets behind him. But really, it's just the big thing defensively, you can't let Josh Allen just go off. And not even that. You can't let him just keep creating plays and stand his feet. I mean, so many times it looked like we had him wrapped up, like he was, you know, done, and he's just Josh Allen. He just makes great plays. And so I think the one thing they got to remember, he doesn't really slide a whole lot. So if you see him try and run, still be aggressive. You know, I mean, if you do try and see him slide, try and, you know, don't hit him. But Allen is the one quarterback in this league. If he doesn't slide, he'll lower his speed. So you got to be prepared for that, and you got to spot. You can't just let him, when he's covered, just run out and get another 10 yards. So there's really anything else that could really add that the Chiefs need to do. Maybe get Pacheco going too. We didn't have him in the first game, and
Yeah.
he looked really good. He was really good against the Dolphins, and so the game, Mahomes plays a lot better when that run game is going. So I really think that's what the Chiefs got to do, and that's a lot, but it's nothing crazy. None that they can't do. Defense just needs to keep doing the defense. I don't see this game being a high scoring game. I think it's going to be a little bit of back. I think it'll be a little bit back and forth, but it's just going to be who's what like the big thing is just going to be who's going to get stopped on third down. And if teams are going for it on fourth and short, who can stop, get the ball back. I mean, the
Right.
Bills have obliterated us in games past with being able to convert, get off the field on third down. And these are like long third downs, man. It's like 3rd and 20, 4th and 20, and they're guys running wide open. And so we got to do a better job in that. And I think just
Yep.
Bill speaking, Josh Allen, with him, he's been good all year, but turnovers, he's been kind of battling at him. And so you need him to play as clean of the game as he can. Don't try and force anything if you can't. Throw it away, save it for the next play. But with him,
Yep.
not trying to do too much, just play your game. And then Diggs has to step up. I mean, I think I've mentioned that Diggs he's been the one guy who's been kind of struggled against him. It seems like he's the one dude. But he's gotta find a way to get the ball, get open. And I think from there, defensively, you guys did a great job in the first game of getting to Mahomes and stacking him, so being able to do that. And then once again, just limiting big plays. I think if you can just keep Mahomes contained, keep him in the pocket, he tends to panic sometimes, and he can sometimes make bad decisions. And so I really think with you guys, it's not too crazy either. I think the big thing is you need Diggs to step up. And if he doesn't, you got to have another Gabe Davis coach kind of game where someone comes
Yep.
out and just takes over. So those are my takeaways. What are you feeling in this game?
Yeah. Gabe, you hit on a couple things that I was also planning on mentioning. If we look at Kansas City's keys to the game, I think a couple of their opportunities. I'm glad you brought up Pacheco. This is a Isaiah Pacheco game, right? We got freezing cold temperatures. This is a game for him to pound the rock and make some of these defenders think twice about hitting him. So I really hope that that his contributions are mitigated there. So that's an opportunity I see for Kansas City. Run the ball with Pacheco, and this is a good Bills rushing defense. But I want to shift to that linebacker core again. This is a heavily injured linebacker core, and another opportunity. If Terrell Bernard is indeed inactive, which I foresee him being, the Chiefs have the opportunity to isolate one of those linebackers, whether it's Dorian Williams is going to come in, who's a rookie out of Tulane, or AJ Klein, who has been in the league a long time. He was sitting on his couch last week, though, before the Steelers game. So I definitely could see the Chiefs taking advantage of whoever's playing that second linebacker spot, because I do believe Tyrell Dotson's going to play in this game. I could be wrong. I mean, we might end up again with our 4th or 5th string linebacker. It's insane with these injuries, Gabe. But I think the Chiefs could take advantage of that. And then the next thing on offense for them, isolating cornerback Kyer Elam if Rasul Douglas is inactive. Kyer Elam's a 2-year man out of Florida, and he struggled a little bit against the Steelers. He did get an interception in the red zone, but I still don't have a whole lot of confidence in Kyer Elam, especially, you mentioned it, if he's going up against Rashee Rice. This is a guy I do not want getting the ball. I can live with the 7-yard Travis Kelce curls as long as we can hold him there. But if Rashee Rice gets in the open field, man, he's fast. If he runs a slant route, he can break away from that. So those are my opportunities for Kansas City. And then I would say another thing they've got to do, you mentioned it, you got to contain Josh Allen, right? If Allen, and I could say this about Mahomes too, and I will, if you give these guys the space to throw on the run or, use their legs to pick up first downs, man, that's where things get lethal for these teams, especially if you give Patrick Mahomes the opportunity to move up the pocket with his chest pointed downfield. He's got a full field of view. as a Bills fan, if I'm watching that, I'm like, crap. So it goes for both teams. We've got to contain these quarterbacks, or else, those defenses are going to be in big trouble. Shifting to Buffalo's keys to the game. I already mentioned one of them. It's got to be containing Mahomes. Force him to play the boring game. Again, live with those 6, 7, 8-yard curl routes from Kelsey. Keep everything shallow. Get pressure with 4. Make sure Mahomes knows if he holds on to that ball longer than he's accustomed to, it's not going to be good for him. So force him to play that boring game. A couple opportunities I see with Buffalo. You mentioned Willie Gay, and that's actually someone that I kind of have been keying in on. You watch what happened to the Chiefs this regular season against the Bills, and I do think Willie Gay gave up a couple plays. And so if I'm the Bills, I would use motion with Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, and really isolate Willie Gay. I think the Chiefs have some great linebackers in Drew Tranquill and Nick Bolton. But I think, whether it's Leo Chenal or Willie Gay, I try to isolate that linebacker. Last opportunity. This is Mahomes' first road playoff game. You have got to make him pay. He better be on the injury report next week where it just says ears. His ears are injured, because that's a huge advantage that this Buffalo team and the Buffalo fans need to take advantage of. Get loud when the Chiefs are on offense. So those are our keys to the game, presented by – no, I'm just kidding. It's not presented by anything. Now we're going to shift into this last segment here, Gabe. Your confidence level. We got a scale from 1 to 10. 1 is you think the Bills are going to destroy the Chiefs. 5 is, why'd you ask me this question, Kyle? It's a coin flip. And 10 is the Chiefs will destroy the Bills. Go ahead, Gabe.
Bills got all the momentum right now. They had all the momentum heading to the playoffs, and they're the hottest team. And the Chiefs kind of look a little goofy, but they had a really good game last week. If you want to say 5. I wish I could say with complete confidence. I have a lot of faith in the Chiefs. If anything, you mentioned home field advantage. This is Mahomes' first playoff game. Mahomes is Mahomes, man. I don't know how much the home playoff can, him being on the road can affect him. Maybe may affect other guys on the team. Mahomes has been in a lot of pretty crazy environments, especially early in his career. He's shown a lot of toughness and whatnot. I mean, he went into New England, he went into Gillette and faced Brady on the road early on, and Brady won like his last Super Bowl, or I guess second last, his last Super Bowl with the Patriots. He competed well and played against some good Broncos teams prior to Russell Wilson, and so with him, I'm not too concerned about that. I'm just really concerned about those receivers. Kind of just, you really don't want the same stuff that's been hurting the Chiefs all year to just come, in full force on Sunday. They got dropping passes, committing a lot of turnovers, stuff like that. And so I think just with that, it's tough. It's around a 5, maybe a 4 for the Bills, just because it's tough to want to take against them. I think if anything, with the Chiefs need to take advantage is, I think a lot of people, I wouldn't want to say like everyone's taking the Bills, but for the most part, you're the villain in this game. Like let's just be honest. No one wants to see the Chiefs win. We're very much sick and tired of seeing the Chiefs win, and I fully get that. And I think we just want to see Taylor Swift shut up, man. We don't want to see her face anymore. So I get that. I completely understand where people are coming from. But with that, just embrace it, man. Everyone's gonna be hating on you, everyone's gonna be dogging on you. Let that sink in. Use that as fuel. And so I mean, I would argue we got 2 Super Bowls. Mahomes is 2 MVPs. We got nothing else we can prove. We've proven everyone we're a great dynasty. It's the Bills who they're the ones trying to get there. They're the ones that are trying to get past the Chiefs. They're the ones trying to get that Super Bowl. They're the ones going hunting. It's like use that to your advantage, man. Go out and have fun. More than anything, play relaxed. Don't be scared. Don't play tight or anything like that. Anything like that. Yep. You're playing with house money right now, and so I really think that's what the Chiefs need to have. Is you're the underdog. You should, you've never hardly been an underdog, so use that. People are counting you out, or they think this is going to be the time where the Bills will finally beat you in the playoffs. It's like, all right, let them prove that, but go out and play the game. So that's That's what I'm feeling.
So your official number, what was it? Was it 5 or 4?
Go for it. I'm gonna say with
4.
4. So,
Okay. Okay. It's interesting you go in that direction because I'm also going that direction from a Bills perspective. Um, and I'm gonna use a decimal here. I'm gonna go with a 4.8, Gabe. My confidence in this Bills team isn't as high as I want it to be at this point, and that is purely because of injuries. And again, when I use 4.8, I mean the spectrum is flipped there. So I think I have less confidence in the Bills than this Chiefs team, and that's just me being honest. But again, that's purely because of injuries. You're looking at injuries from Diggs, Sam Martin, Christian Benford, Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, Trey White, Gabe Davis, Taylor Rapp, Balin Spector. When does it end, dude? I mean, if you're an objective Bills fan, you can't look at that and just say, "Oh yeah, just gonna ignore it. It's fine." But that doesn't mean that this Bills team can and won't win. In fact, Gabe, I know this sounds kind of weird, but I am predicting a Bills win. I think they're going to channel some of that DeMar Hamlin energy. This Bills team just has too much riding on this, man. This is 20 years of playoff drought history right here that needs to be. You need to slay this dragon. That is the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's our confidence levels there. Gabe, any concluding thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
I mean, just it's gonna be a great game. It's kind of like I said at the beginning. There's a lot on the line for both teams here. Another, in my opinion, it's gonna be another great chapter in this rivalry that the Bills Chiefs have. At the end of the day, man, love Josh Allen. Respect the heck out of him. I respect the Bills. Don't underestimate those Chiefs fans, though, man. We may not jump on tables on fire, by the way, but we get loud, we get noisy too. So Bills Mafia aren't the only crowd out there, but Chiefs fans, they love their boys too, and they're willing to support. And so, I just hope it's a good game, man. I don't, I mean, if my team's the one that luckily, which I don't see this happening at all. If the Chiefs blow out the Bills, good for me. I don't see that happening, but I just want to close game. And 2 years ago, we had a pretty spectacular game. So, who has the ball last? And we'll just see from there. But I guess with me, I didn't give us. I guess I'll have the Chiefs win this one. I can't pick against my boys, but if I had to give 4, I'm going to go. I'll go 24-21. I think Harrison Butker will take a nice long 55-yard field goal into that cold Buffalo air, and we will all run on the field majestically and hugs and whatnot. So that's what I'm going to go with. But other than that, man, I'm just excited. It's going to be great. So
yeah, me too, man. It should be an excellent showdown. I really believe these teams are very evenly matched. So that's going to do it for this episode of Behind Enemy Lines here on Buffalo Live. I want to encourage everyone watching to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to my special guest, Gabe, here on the show from Chiefs Kingdom. I am Kyle with Buffalo Live. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and go Bills.